Introduce our next remarkable speaker, Alexandar Vassilev, the CEO of WeTransfer. With a strong background in product-led growth, Alexandar joined WeTransfer as the Chief Product and Technology Officer in 2020, bringing together innovation and engineering across the entire product suite. In 2022, he assumed the position of CEO, leading the company to new heights. He also played a pivotal role in the successful launch of WeTransfer Premium, revolutionizing the way users engage with the platform. Having spent nearly a decade at Google, including YouTube, Alexandar witnessed the rise of creators embracing digital platforms to forge their careers. He is passionate about serving this vibrant community in the long term, through continuous innovation and the introduction of new features. Let's give him and our moderator Aniela Russeva a warm welcome.
I am very happy to have here on our stage Alexandar with us, not only because he's CEO of WeTransfer, but he's also a proud Bulgarian. So welcome to Bulgaria and to Sofia, Alex.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It's fantastic to be here.
Welcome
and thank
home.
you for all of you sitting in the audience listening to me blabbing.
I have a few questions that my team prepared for you. So let us know, with your experience and witnessing the first wave of creators turning to digital platforms and building global products, how do you see basically emerging technology shaping the future of content creation and consumption?
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, about 2011, I was at YouTube. We were building the first wave of creative community. Back then, technology was always a little bit as a side thing, the side app I have, the side to my life. And what has happened since then, what we've seen is an incredible explosion of technology in the way that not only penetrates our lives, but controls them, from the way we work, to the way we live, to the way we interact with each other. And what that has created is an incredible opportunity for people to bring down barriers and connect with each other, which obviously has fueled the growth of creativity in the creative space in general. And when I look at where we are today, we are looking at a 250 billion globally industry. And if you believe Goldman Sachs, that will double between now and 2027. So we have a lot to go. We're still in the midst of this incredible boom of content creation and content consumption. That being said, we have about 50 million creators globally, and about 4% of them could be considered professional, meaning that they pull more than about $100,000 a year. So there's a long way to go to build viable business models for those creators in order for them to make a living off their talent. And I believe technology will help going forward do exactly that. Bring down those barriers again, but obviously create opportunities for those folks to make a living.
And how does sustainability play a role into that wave of innovation? Could you provide some examples of how sustainability is integrated into your business especially, and how it aligns with the needs of your users?
Absolutely. So I believe sustainability will be the core. And I think, you know, we've talked about this topic for almost 10 years, and it's amazing to see how embedded now it is into the conversation. And not only that, but embedded in the way that people build businesses and create opportunities and build business models. And for WeTransfer, we pride ourselves of being a bit of a pioneers in that space. Many years ago, we decided to do something quite different, to focus on sustainability of a sustainable business model, to care not only about the profits, but also about the planet and the people. And what that has created is a bit perhaps of a slower growth over 10 years compared to some of the, you know, the bigger companies out there from Silicon Valley. But now we're reaping the benefits of that decision. And I think going forward, you'll see a lot of businesses being absolutely grounded in the way that their sustainability efforts play to the wider picture. And in terms of concrete example, for us, sustainability is the business model. So it's not something that we have on the side. It's not that we have a team on the side thinking about it. It's embedded into every decision we make as a business.
Give us an example.
Yeah, so for example, last year alone, we were rethinking of how to better optimize our storage capabilities. We are a big AWS user. Yeah. And we realized that that helps our users by servicing data quicker to them, increasing download speeds, upload speeds for our core product. But it wasn't just that optimization. It was also an opportunity for us to push our partner to be a bit green. So we sat down with AWS. We spent a significant amount of time figuring what those efficiencies could be. And as a result, we basically avoided about 2.1 megatons of CO2 in just 1 year of emissions by just being smart of how we do this optimization. So when, bringing down costs, increasing user satisfaction, and being sustainable play all into one, then that's a win-win-win.
What is your overarching vision for the company and its role in the creative industry? How do you plan to continue supporting and empowering creators in the digital age?
So the good news is that we are creators. The WeTransfer was created by creators for creators. Before we were a tech company, we were a creative studio. What it means with that we really understand the struggles of that community. It's very much our core user base and very much the people that we want to serve and continue to solve problems. My ultimate vision is for us to connect the world with creativity. It's our North Star. We believe that there's so much untapped talent across the world. There's so much opportunity for folks to use that talent to make a living. And I think as a business, we have a responsibility to enable that as much as we have. And over the last 10 years, we've built a lot of trust with that community by doing things right, doing things sustainably, and thinking about them first and foremost. And I think that vision continues to extend for us and continue to accelerate. So I'm very passionate about building more and more tools and using technology in order for us to solve some of the bigger problems they have.
And looking ahead, what are your future plans for WeTransfer in terms of innovation, expansion, and further serving the creative community? Any extensive developments of something that is like really interesting and disrupting that we can expect from the company at the very near future?
It's interesting when we talk about big things, disruptive and things, it goes back actually of, are you solving real problems? And if you do, then it could be something small, but will have a meaningful impact on people. And over those 14 years that now we're in the business, we've built a tremendous amount of trust with our community. And we need to continue to justify that trust by building continuously products and bringing innovation to solve this problem. So for many, many years, we did one thing incredibly well, which was moving digital content from one place to another, enabling folks to leverage their creativity. And over the last couple of years, we've embarked on that journey to continue to accelerate that at massive stage. So last year, we launched something called Portals and Reviews, which helps people interact with clients, solicit feedback, solicit approvals. This year, we just launched our alpha version of our monetization component, so people can start charging for things. And going forward, we see a lot of those opportunities that today it's quite difficult to do for creators, about how do you connect with your audience, how do you distribute your content directly, how do you stand out in this crazy world that we live in today. And we'll continue to ship products and innovation on that front. And of course, everybody wants to talk about AI, so we can certainly talk about AI, but that's just one component of how do you figure out what are the core problems and what technology can do to solve these problems going forward.
And just out of curiosity, this is not part of the scenario. You are CEO of a global company, but you are Bulgarian.
Correct.
Is there any difference when we talk about strategies, plans for development, expansion, when you think about markets that are Western Europe, States, and when we talk about Eastern Europe, where we are in Bulgaria, for instance?
I wouldn't say that there's something distinctly different. It's people trying to make a living, people trying to be innovative, people trying to live better lives. I think technology, if you are in my position and you lead a global technology brand, you need to think about holistically. It's no longer, just one market, whether it's the US or Europe or even Eastern Europe. It's about how do you create something that actually serves people holistically. And the interesting part, and what makes my job quite amazing when I think about strategies and approaches, is that people do different things differently in different parts of the world. And it's very easy to focus on one and create a solution and believe, well, that's it, I figured it out. And then you just need to spend a couple of minutes with somebody sitting in Eastern Europe or in Asia or in the Middle East. And then suddenly you start realizing, well, wait a second, it's a different type of problem that I'm trying to solve. So it becomes this chicken and egg game of, what is the problem, what is the solution, and how does the problem solve, pushes the solutions, how the solutions solve the problem. And I think you have to have that global lens. And that's why things like global presence, in things like interaction with your user base, really understanding these problems is the key to building that success.
I think we are about to finish with our talk. So if you have to summarize or to send to our global community a message from WeTransfer, what it will be?
Without being cheesy, be bold. I think that it's very easy for us to get lost a little bit in the detail of what technology can do and not do in the future, but in the end of the day, we are shaping it. There's a lot of conversations around AI and around these new technologies, But I think if we put our minds together, we can really figure them out. And what they can enable us is bring down further barriers for folks across the globe to make a living, to be creative, to invent. And I think this, as tech businesses and as investors and just as a community, we have a responsibility to make the world a little better place. So we need to figure out how to be sustainable in our business models, and we have to focus on the people that we want to serve.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.